So a very warm welcome from Tivat in Montenegro, Lima Yankee Tango Victor. We're in the INI Builds A300. This has just recently been updated and it's a considerably improved aircraft, and I'm very pleased about that. It's now back up to the levels it was in X-Plane, so yeah, well done INI Builds. I'm very pleased. So we're going to be flying today to just an airport I've not been to before. It's Transilvania in Romania, and the ICAO is Lima Romeo Tango Mike. For no other reason than somebody uploaded the scenery for it today, and there's an NDB approach that goes into runway 25. I thought that sounds like me, so yeah, let's give it a go. Why not? So we've got, just a short route, it's around 400 or so miles. Here we've got a block fuel of 12.4, and let's get number of charts. We've got a departure from runway 32, and departure's interesting because it goes out to the it coasts out to the Adriatic Sea, and then goes south and then turns back to TAS NDB and then north all the way to November India Kilo. And the reason it does that is because there's fairly high ground here, so if you've got a big aircraft, and these aircraft of this age, A300, they don't climb particularly quickly, so this is the right departure route for us. It gives us a chance to gain height before we start going over higher ground, and there's lots of constraints, but they're all at or aboves, so nothing to get too worked up about. Hopefully we'll be above these anyway. And then when we get to Transilvania, we've got, hang on, let's try that again. We've got this arrival which takes us from IBINU to SIB and then to TGM, and there are no constraints here. There's a speed constraint 250, but nothing else. And then we can pick up the NDB DME approach, which is fairly straightforward, but the only difference is that the NDB is to the west of the field, so we'll be going to TGM and then outbound on a heading 084, outbound from the 084 radial, really from the NDB. We'll do this all old school to 13.9 DME from the ILS, and then it's a left turn, rate 1 left turn to Atepa, and then when we get to 8.7 DME, it's a standard 3-degree descent profile, and the MDA is 1730. So fairly straightforward, but it'd be interesting in an aircraft such as the A300. So anyway, we're sitting here, we're completely cold and dark. This is a delivery I made this morning. It turned out quite well. So let's get underway. So first things first, let's get into the cockpit and get the thing fired up. So and I do love, this is the age of aircraft that I absolutely love. It's that sort of pretending to be old, modern, when in fact it's really quite old. CRT screens and some modern electronics and newfangled LEDs, goodness me. So yeah, it's that age I absolutely adore. So let's get the 3 batteries on. 1, 2 and 3. We'll get our nav lights on, get our emergency lights on. We'll fire up the APU. We'll just open the door, give it a few seconds, and then we can hit the starter on that. Okay, so APU starter is on. No smoking signs, can go to auto, and we'll just get the IRSs aligned. Okay, so caution light off, and we'll go to the EFB. So we're now at the EFB. I go to my flight, and let me just zoom in a bit. So we'll import it from SimBrief. So Tivat to Transilvania. Now we go to the weight and balance. Now, I haven't bothered with any of the ground equipment. Really, it's just this is a flight. I want to do a flight. I don't want to worry about anything else. We will try and use Beyond ATC. That'll be interesting. So, update from SimBrief, the weight and balance. So it's telling us that we've got block fuel of 12.4, which is correct. So we'll apply the load, and this applies it over time, and you can tell it how, you know, whether you want it realistic or quick or instant. So that's now applying that load, and we'll leave that page on for a moment. The APU is just fired up, so what we'll do, we'll get the APU bleed on, get the oxygen on, get the galley power on, and we'll get all the fuel pumps on, and there are quite a few of them. It's very interesting, the 300 and 310, because they've got fuel pumps in the tail called the trim tanks, and it actively flows fuel between the main tanks and the trim tanks to maintain balance, and that saves something like, I don't know, if I say 1%, 2%, 3% of fuel over the course of the flight, it really is fairly significant. So yeah, that's good technology. Right, so we've got the aircraft firing up, so we'll just uncage the standby horizon. We'll go down to the MCDU, and we'll go to the init page. No, we don't. We go to the menu, we go to ACARS, go to SimBrief, and we'll populate the flight plan. Okay, and once that's done, we can align the IRS, and I've got it onto quick rather than realistic. So that's now done. We're going to fly at, I'm going to get rid of all the cautions, initialize crew, GPS, no display, weight's cleared, goodness me, loads of them. So anyway, that's now aligning. So let's get the departure information in. So we're going to take off from runway 32, and I'm just going to bring up the Navigraph charts. Nick 4 Tango. Nick 4 Tango. Nick 4 Tango. Insert. We'll just scroll down, make sure that's all in there. Nick, there it is. Okay. We'll scroll all the way to the end of the flight plan. There it is. And we click on Transilvania. And then we go to star. And again, I'm just going to have a quick gander at it. So the IBIN1 Golf and the NDB, and it's the TGM1 transition. I'll just go through that with you very quickly. There are two transitions from TGM. One is this one here, which is for category A and B, so light aircraft and props, and you know, things that don't take a very big turn radius. And then we've got C and D, which are for this sort of aircraft. They're faster and their turn radius is larger. So we want the TGM1 transition. So IBIN1 Golf. So let's go scroll down the list. IBIN1 Golf. Nope, we've gone through it. IBIN1 Golf. And it's the NDB 25 and it's TGM1. Oh, I think we've lost our... No, something's happened here. So I've got to try and get the star back. This was an old problem that they had with the A300 and A310, where you select the star and then you lose the approaches. When you do the approaches, you lose the star. So a bit of a lose-lose. So let's do NDB. Yeah, it's lost it again. So how do we get over this? Let's try again. Could be interesting. And they actually cured it. They managed to get rid of the problem. IBIN1 Golf. We'll do the TGM1. Next page. Okay, so how do we do this? IBINU Golf. Right, so what do I do here? Sorry, I brought you along for the ride, and the airplane has failed me. I don't know what to do. Let's have a look. Come on. Let's fix it. Let's think of a solution. Get rid of the error messages. So, next page. Next page. That's not working. Let's go back to the flight plan. Let's scroll down the list. Let's see if we can get the other around. TGM1. Oh, there it is. IBINU Golf. So we've got the star and then we got the approach. Do insert and that will bring them both in. So let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so we've got constraints. Let's just check the constraints. We'll have to go to the, yeah, so we're TGM at 4,000 feet and ET power at 3,500. So I want to make those at or above, so I want to make sure that we're there at that level. So TGM 4,000, so we need to do 4,000 at, go back, and ETPA is 3.5. There we go, so that's done. So that's the flight plan in. Whew. Got there in the end. We need to populate some data in the init page. So block fuel is 12.5, or no, sorry, 12.4. It was 12.4. We do zero fuel weight 114.6. 114.6. And then we do the zero fuel weight C of G 28.4, and that's 28.4 is there. Okay, so the weights are now initialized. Then we get to the takeoff page. We need to do the performance. So again, we go to our tablet, we go to our takeoff, and we sync. And that's not the right runway. We want runway 32. Sync, and that's the right weight. Okay, that's all good. Calculate. So we've got a flex temperature of 63, V1 and V rotate 146. So they go into the MCDU 146. And then we got to go up top because the IRSs have aligned, and we need to switch on the aircraft systems in order to activate the MCP panel. So V2 was 148, so that goes here. That's our climb out speed. Okay, sorry, I got interrupted then. So runway 32, put the heading in for that. So 320, and we haven't got an initial altitude yet. So what we'll do, we'll just dial in something, and then we'll get our ATIS and our clearance. Before we do that, they want the landing altitude, and that is 963. So 950 will do, and that you pop into this window here. 950. 950 we've got, and the last thing was the flex temperature, which was 63. Set and checked. Okay, so let's have a quick chat with ATC. Let's have a listen. Got no ATIS, so we'll just get straight into the clearance.
Malab 995 Heavy, request IFR clearance to Vidrosel Airport.
Turn the volume up.
Nick for Tango departure. Squawk 3704. Malab 995 Heavy.
3704 for the squawk.
Red back correct. Calme back when ready for pushback or engine start.
Roger that, Malab 995 Heavy.
So 3704. Put that on, okay, not Tara, but on, and last thing we need is trim setting. It was just 0. Okay, so 0 on the trim, and that is was on 0. There we go, 0. Okay, so I think we're good. So we can just get the seatbelt signs on, and I think we're good for a. I don't know if we need a pushback today, but we probably. I don't know if we can clear this ground stuff, so let's get a pushback just into this area here. So let's get pushback helper, pre-plan. So we want to go to, let's get to here. We have to do it in stages, so there's one stage, and then we go here. Okay, so press pushback, and that's from pushback helper. So let's do press push and start.
Malab 995 Heavy, ramp 5, request pushback.
Malab 995 Heavy, Tivat door, pushback and engine start approved. Face not halt.
Pushback approved. Face northwest, Malab 995 Heavy.
Face northwest. That I didn't expect. We'll just push back. So there we go, pushing back. So we can get system alpha, hit the starter. Okay, and then we've got N2 winding up. And we're looking for 24. And we press the clear button on that. So 24, 24, 24, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So, fuel flow we've got. EGT rising. And big fan is turning. And oil temperature and pressure is rising. So let's get that parking brake on. Checked, and close down the pushback helper, and that's number 2 started. Let's get number 1. Okay, so again we're looking for 24. before we've got. So fuel flow, light up, big fan, and temperature and pressure. Okay, so good start on 1 and 2. So we can switch off the ignition. We can run down the APU, so APU bleed can come off, APU master can come off. We keep the ignition on continuous for takeoff, and we can get the probes and ports on. Now we can do progress on the MCD number 2, and we go to flight plan on the captain's side. We can arm the spoilers, and we can do flap 15, 15, slats and flaps 15, because that's indicated here. We could have changed it, but we just ran with that. So you'll see them coming down, slats 15, flaps 15. They're lovely on this aircraft, they're nice and big. And I think I avoided the building there. Nicely done, I feel. So there we go, flaps and slats. This aircraft is unusual because it doesn't have ailerons. See? None. It's all done on roll spoilers. Okay, so let's get some taxi.
Malib 995 Heavy, request taxi to the active.
Malib 995 Heavy, runway 32, taxi via 6, apron Alpha.
Runway 32 taxi via 6 apron Alpha, Malib 995 Heavy.
Let's have a quick look. So, number 6. Yeah. Doesn't make much sense to me. So we're going to go to taxi to Bravo. Okay, so auto brake can go on to max, and we're not facing the terminal, so we can put our taxi lights on and our turn off lights. So let's look to the right, we're clear. Let's look to the left, we're clear. And let's get the parking brake off. Okay, so it's just fly goodbye livery. Don't know if I've got clearance here. I'm trying to stick to the right. Maybe it was the other entrance to the runway. Let's see if we can avoid this. Yes, we can. Just. Okay, let's go back inside. The engine's back to idle. And we can turn to the hold here. So we'll ask for departure.
Malib 995 Heavy, ready to go, runway 32.
Malib 995 Heavy, backtrack runway 32. Call when ready for departure.
Backtrack runway 32, call when ready, Malib 995 Heavy.
Okay, so landing lights are on, strobes are on, and spoilers are on, flaps are down, water brake is set, and crews are loaded. So we need to get the transponder to Tara. Yeah. Clear on the right, clear on the left, and we'll taxi Italian style. So, take off, we'll rotate, climb out at 148, we'll do that on flight level change. And we'll go to nav to get LNAV from the MCDU. On the INI Builds, using the honeycomb, the toggle button on the throttle lever will activate the auto throttle. So we've got a flex of 63, giving us 97.6 each side. Right, let's hit the takeoff check. You press and hold that, and eventually you get a message norm for takeoff. Okay. Gosh, we need takeoff speed already.
Malev nine five heavy, imediate lai. Imediate lai stop your takeoff roll. You do not have takeoff clearance.
Roger that. Malev 995 heavy.
Yeah, they're obviously not used to Italian pilots taxiing, are they? Because that was done at Italian speed. So we'll just turn around here. So a bit of differential throttle to help with the positioning. Press departure.
Malev 995 heavy, ready to go. Runway 32.
Malev nine five heavy, Tivat door, între five at 6, runway 32, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 32 cleared for takeoff. Malev 995 heavy.
Okay, so I'm just going to start the stopwatch. So we're cleared for takeoff. So let's get the engine spooled up and stable. You do that just to make sure that not one isn't pulling more than the other, and it might take you off the runway. And toga coming on. Right, check auto throttle is set. It is, and thrust is now set. Hold that centre line. We're looking for 146, if you remember. That's shown on the white bug on the speed tape and on the digital PFD. And we're coming up. So V1 rotate, round we go. Okay, and positive rate, so gear can come up. Okay, so we're going to climb at 148, which is what's indicated on the flight director. So flight level change. Nav mode,
Malev nine five heavy, contact Belgrade control 120 decimal 425.
Oops, let's get that.
Contact Belgrade control 120 decimal for 25. Malev 995 heavy. Belgrade control. Malev 995 heavy. 1,300 feet.
Wow,
Malev nine five heavy. Belgrade control. Code day identified. Climb to flight level 180.
Let's go to autopilot, shall we? Because that's not
Climb to
very
flight
easy.
level 180. Malev 995 heavy.
1 is on. Okay, and let's speed up. Let's go to 180 on the speed. At 180 we got it set. So flaps can come up. Not sure where we're going. Ah, there we go. So we can go to auto, which would be climb mode. So flaps can come up. And we can go 210 on the speed. Set and checked. Get past slats, which is yes here, so we've got just the slats out. Get past yes. Speed checked, slats can come in. Okay, let's do some after takeoff. So Landing gear switched off. Spoilers switched off. Lights coming off. There we go. Lights are off. And what we can do now is go to profile mode. The aircraft will pitch down to accelerate to a commanded speed of 250 knots below 10,000. And we might have to stick at 250 because otherwise it might not do this turn. So we'll just have a look what happens. Because we're just about to go above 10,000. So continuous relight is on, that'll come off at 10,000. Okay, so flight level 180. We'll do flight level change. Go 250 on the speed. So we're above 10,000, so continuous relight can come off, let them out their seats, and now we can have a quick look outside. Tivat airport is in there, I think. Yeah, there it is. So we took off in that direction. And we circular departure out to the bay.
Climb to flight level 370, Malev 995 heavy.
370 is set, checked. And we can go to standard pressure. There we go, standard. And we get to profile mode. Okay, so the aircraft will pitch down now and get to 325 knots, which is its climb speed. Let's just zoom out on the display. We zoom out on the display because at the moment it's showing a couple of waypoints, and the display doesn't really show anything useful if it's not showing some waypoints. So let's just zoom out one more notch. There we go. Okay, so no need for weather radar today, and I'm really pleased that they've implemented the terrain radar. Maybe I should have had that running when I took off. But no, they've done a good job, and I'm pleased to have one of my very favourite airplanes back in the hangar. Okay, so it's still accelerating. Big old engines in this thing here. what we can do is add constraints to our to the data points, to the waypoints. As you can see, we're way above those. So we're just about accelerating now, just about reaching 325, and it will start to climb a bit higher, a bit faster. It was very turbulent as we climbed out of the airport. That was really caught me by surprise. One of the things that INI Builds I feel need to work on is the yoke, because when the autopilot is on and it's turning, for instance in a departure or an arrival, it seems to want to turn the yoke all the way around, you know, just for a small bank, and it's a bit out of sync. I don't think a pilot would be quite that brusque with the controls, so they just need to tone that down a little bit, I think. So we're at 325, climbing now to flight level 370. This is the when it climbs at its slowest, but it will get there. Right then, so let's look at the other features on this. So we've got our Navigraph charts. So we want LRTM, and we want the approach, arrival approach, there we go, and we want the NDB25. So we want 1099 for the ILS, but that's not the ILS for us, that's the ILS on the reciprocal 07, but we'll still dial it in because we want the DME from it. So 1099, 1099, okay, and we want the NDB now, which is 428. NDB is down here, I think. Last time I looked, here we go. ADF. So I don't know which one of these is the active. That's the active, it's got the light on it. So what did we say it was? 428. 420. 428 is set. We'll transfer it to here, and the NDB is shown here. So hopefully the single line, the orange line here, or the red line, will indicate when we're within range, but that's not for a while because we've got a few hundred miles to go. So we've been airborne 11 minutes. Yep, it's all looking good. Let's have a quick look outside. They're not very big wings. And its roll weight isn't good because it hasn't got ailerons, but I quite like that. So again, we're not showing very much on the nav display, so let's just zoom out until we have something. Now we've got some data, we've got a turning point, and we've got our top of climb, which is 15 miles away. So this is the slowest, the mid-20s to the high 20s. It's the lowest climb rate imaginable. It's a bit like a 146 or a Fokker 28. Goodness me, you feel like you can get out and push it up a bit more. So what else have we got on this? We got landing, performance calculator, got ground equipment, got non-route map, which is quite nice. And lots of settings. Aircraft maintenance. So what have I got here? APU oil. Yeah, I could do with a bit of maintenance really, couldn't I? So oh no, I don't want to open those. So that's how you service the things there. And actually you can look at the tyres on this and they might appear worn. And you can look at the brake pins and they might also appear worn. So it looks like the tyres need a bit of work. Anyway, maybe we'll do that when we get the other end. But more likely I won't remember. So, let's sit back and relax, enjoy the climb, and I'll fast forward a bit and we'll resume for the descent.
Expect IBIN 1 Golf, runway 25, Malev 995 heavy.
Okay, so welcome back. We're now talking to Bucharest Centre, Radar Cruise 370, and they've just told us to expect the IBIN 1 Golf, runway 25, and we've accepted that. So we're just, let's have a look, we're just a very short way from our top of descent, probably about 30 miles or so. So again, let's just have a quick look at the so there's nothing, there are no constraints except a 250 speed limit at Sierra India Bravo, and TGM we need to be at 4,000. So I think it'll be a descent to 4,000. Before I do that though, I'm just going to enter the CRS for the course for the ILS, because I want to make sure it does appear. So approach ILS 07, it is 069. I don't want that now. Okay, so 069 can go here. There you go, so 1099.069. So we should have the indications for the DME that we need, and we're about 20 from our top of descent. So we'll see what they say about descent.
Malev 995 heavy, IBIN 1 Golf, runway 25. Report ready for descent.
IBIN 1 Golf, runway 25, call when ready, Malev 995 heavy.
And what happens is they usually just tell you to descend anyway. So if I tell them we're ready for descent now,
Malev 995 heavy, ready for descent.
Malev 995 heavy, descent to 3,500 feet, Kunuhavan 0 Bamban.
Descent to 3,500 feet, Malev 995 heavy.
okay, so 3,500, I'm not sure where that comes from. We'll have a look at the charts in a sec. So I've dialed in 4,000 because I know that's the altitude to be above the NDB. So let's begin our descent. We just, on the A300, just press the profile button and it should go down, not up. There we go, it's going down. Okay, there we go. So we're in the descent now, so we're all good. Let's just check out the landing. So runway 25, sync, no extra speed, and dry. We'll do full flaps 1520. Is it 1520? 3040. There you go. That's full flaps. braking. We'll do auto. I don't know how long the runway is. Let's have a quick look at that. So go to the airport diagram. 2,000 meters. So we're a heavy aircraft, but we're not fully loaded. I think light would be okay. Let's calculate. No, we need medium brakes. Let's calculate that again. There we go. So medium auto brake, and we'll set that now. So medium auto brake, and we're just slightly below the vertical deviation, which you can find on the progress page. Here we're about 850 feet, which is decreasing at the moment, 750. So, but we just started descent a little bit early. Right then. So on the thrust rating panel here, there's obviously we had the flex set for takeoff, but there's an auto button here. So after you've taken off an acceleration altitude, you can either press auto, in which case it will go to climb and then cruise, because we were in the cruise, it'll say in cruise to descent, or you can just do it manually. That's continuous thrust, toga, climb and cruise. So have we got our NDB? Yes, we do. So let's get the NDB chart open. Navigraph. There it is. So is there a way to make this bigger, to make this full screen? Not that I can see. So we'll run with what we've got. So we're going to track outbound. This is not a VOR, so we have to go on heading, and we need to know what the winds are to do that. So 428, and we're coming out at 084. So let's just see if we can get the weather information. Should be able to get it from my flight, I think. So METAR, let's refresh the METARs. METAR, if you remember, is actual weather. TAF is forecast. So we've got wind 230 at 7 knots. Few at 3,600. Few at 4,500 CBs, cumulo nimbus, and temperature 24, dew point 18, and QNH 1011. And let's just look at the chart again. Let's see whether we can work out where 3,500 came from. Yeah, that's the platform altitude here, but overhead NDB it's 4,000, so we are right to say at 4,000. And how are we doing here? Okay, we've got this dogleg, so we're now on the star, the IBIN, if you remember. We're above the glide path. How much by? 1,100 feet or so, and we're going quite fast. So let's get let's deploy a bit of spoiler, and before we do that, we'll get the seatbelt signs on. Seatbelt signs are on, and just check that speed a little bit with a bit of spoiler. It's going down at a crazy rate, and I think that's because it's trying to catch up with the descent profile, this diamond here. So give it full spoilers. I think it's going to make much difference. Right, so we're back on the glide path. Spoilers coming in. Okay, so we've got all of the approach now on the nav display. We've got CBs, so let's get the weather radar on. Okay, we'll get the terrain radar on the other side. So we've got weather radar on. We've got to zoom in a little bit because it's now showing the information is too condensed, so we just zoom in one. We need the transition level, so let's look at the charts. Go to the approach plate, transition 7000. I don't think it's a particularly hilly area, but if you look here, the airport is at nigh on 1,000 feet, and you've got an MSA to the west of 5,400, to the northeast 5,200, and to the southeast 3,600. So those are significant altitudes. So there is high ground, you know, within, I think, is it 10 miles? Something like that. So yeah, we've you know, we need to be aware of that. So to the north and southwest, was it? Yes. To the west, it's high ground, and to the northeast as well. For everywhere. Right, our minimum's 1730, so we need to get that dialed in. So we go to the takeoff approach page. MDA is 1730. Set that there. And does this make sense? So we're on the star. Let's get the star on the screen. Arrivals. We're on the IBIN, aren't we? On the IBIN. Yep, that's it there. We're a bit out of position. Don't know why. Maybe it's not. Don't think it's the right arrival. IBIN. This one. Maybe not. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. So we're just heading towards Sierra India Bravo, and then it's a left turn. The NDB is telling us that the airport is to our left. There it is, the orange needle. So it's somewhere in there. We're just slowing down now to 250 because that's the, if you remember, the speed constraint should be shown on the screen. I think I've got constraints, yeah, 250, 250. Now we should be going Uxula Iptis TGM. So the NDB should be directly ahead of us. Perfect. And I need to remind myself of the approach, so let's go back to the approach chart. Oh, there is the approach, sorry. Do that again. NDB25. So it's 084. So we're at 14,000. Like the 140. Need to be at 4,000. Got 10 to lose. 10 times 3 is 30. And we've got just over 30 miles to run. So that's looking good.
Malav 995 Heavy Kuna Havan 01 expect hand runway 25 with TGM1 transition.
QNH1011 expect the NDB DMA runway 25 with the TGM1 transition. Malav 995 Heavy.
Well, that's exactly what I wanted. TGM1 transition, which is the wider circuit, which you depart on 084. That's all good. And if you remember, we need to descend to 3.5 after we've gone overhead the NDB, and we will be slowing down as well. We've got to go out by 13.9. So where is the ILS? Probably not coming in yet. So auto brake medium, coming into cloud now. Outside temperature saturated temperature 3 degrees. We might need to get some anti-ice on just while we go through the clouds. And again, now I can zoom in on the display. So exactly on profile. And so let's look at the airport plate again. So be coming on 25, so we're going to have to turn around. Probably have to go all the way to the end. But this aircraft's actually got a fairly good turning circle, but I don't know how wide it is, the runway. It will tell me here. Width 45 metres, so yeah, I probably can get around in that. So let's get the NDB approach plate back up. Okay. We're still in cloud. Got a bit of weather showing now. We're in a bit of turbulence, as you can see. This is where active skies is brilliant. It makes the air alive. It's just it's very good. Right, so
Malav 995 Heavy, clear direct TGM, cross TGM at or above 3,500 feet, clear runway 25.
Cleared direct TGM, cross TGM at or above 3,500 feet. Cleared NDB DMA runway 25, Malav 995 Heavy.
So we've now got the ILS showing. So we've got a DME readout. And what we can do, we can just switch to the and we can get 084 on the heading bar set. Zero 84 set, checked. So we're out of cloud. A bit more to come though. So we'll just switch off the anti-icing for now. And 7,000 feet we can go to local pressure, which was 1011 I believe. We'll have a look on the page. Earlier it was 1011, yeah. So back to the charts. 1011. Get that set. There we go. And the reason that this turn at the end here is so bulbous is because it hasn't factored in our speed. We will do that probably around 170 knots, something like that. Bit of weather ahead of us. So we just need to be aware of that. I'm going to reduce the brightness of that. Don't want it to interfere. So I'm going to zoom in a bit more. So we're going to go to heading mode. So the aircraft will fly this, but we're going to do it ourselves. So we're going to establish on the outbound, descend to 3.5, and then slow down. So we need anti-icing. Ooh. There be weather there. Raining, in fact. Yeah. Glad we put the anti-ice on. Right, so we're just leveling off at 4,000. Very good VNAV, I have to say. And we're going to come around that corner to establish on the 084 heading. And I can't descend to 3.5 yet, only when we're in the outbound leg. But I can just prep that. So 3.5 set, and we'll go flight level change. Not to profile, thank you. Okay, let's do it the other way. Let's go to heading mode. Flight level change. So we're descending that to 3.5. So 084, and we need to keep that NDB. So the wind we know is coming from 240, I think it was. So from here. So if anything, it's going to be blowing us to the right. So maybe I'm going to bring the heading around to 082. Okay, so we're at 3.5. Now we can slow down. I'm going to go to 180 on the speed to start with. I'm going to help it slow down. And we're looking for 13.9. So I think we're okay at the moment. So you see what I mean about the yoke? It's really, it turns an excessive amount for just small deviations. Right, so we can put our anti-icing off. Okay. Whoops, let's do one stage of slats. Okay, so the next event will be 13.9 on the DME. So at 180 on the speed. And we will bring that back to about 170. So can we see anything? Transilvania. Never been here before. Okay, so 180 on the speed. And we're coming up to 7 miles, so about halfway to the turn point. And it looks like the aircraft will want to turn before getting to 13.9. So this is why we do it manually. So the wind is 240. We are being blown left of course. I wouldn't necessarily know that unless I had an MD like this, an out display like this, because it looks to me like we are slightly, if anything, right of track. So I'm just going to leave it be, and our inbound track is 249. Okay, so we're on heading mode, so the aircraft is not going to stop turning. I mean, that NDB looks fairly, it looks like it's just coming to the left, in fact. So the indications are that it's actually the other side of the track. But anyway, we'll not worry about it. So let's go down to 170 on the speed. Okay, and we'll go flaps 1. And it's 13.9 we're looking for. We're at nearly 12. See how much the yoke is turning? Look, whoa, look at that. It's not quite right, is it? So, but that's okay. Okay. So 12.9, we're a mile to go, and then we're going to bring it round to 249. So we've got a bit of cloud, so let's get that anti-icing on again. Okay. So we are 13.6, so by the time I've got that dialed in, 13.8, so let's go 249. Gosh, that's quite hard to do. Come on. Turn around, why? It's just not turning. Oh, heading slow. Oh my gosh, what's happening there? 249. Yeah, well that's my bad. It's going round the wrong way. I don't want it to do that. Oh dear, we're going to be really out of kilter now, aren't we? We're nearly 18 miles out. Gosh. So heading bug is currently on, see what I mean, it's not, that yoke is a bit annoying. 025, 015 I think it is. So we'll keep that heading bug coming round. And we want to start our descent when we get to 8.9. Keep that heading bug coming around. A bit too much. And we'll keep it about 290, I think, because I want to make sure that we go in. So 290 is set and checked. And I want to make sure that the NDB we're coming in on 249, which is our inbound track. So this is 240. So when that NDB comes to this line here, we need to take up a heading of 249. And that yoke is really annoying. Stop it. Just stop it. And we'll go 160 on the speed. Okay, so we are just coming in. What was the DME? 8.7. 8.7. So when that stop it. Can I hide it? Oh, yes you can. Right, so when that needle is on 249, we should just the other side of that line there. Just coming in now, if you see, very, very, very slowly. We are in cloud, aren't we? So 249, let's get 249 set. Set in the heading, so that should be tracking inbound 249 at 8.7. We can start our descent. It's a 3 degree and we want to come down to 1700 feet. Feet, okay, and we want to come in okay, so we've got 13.8 to run. We are still tracking practically with just a little bit left of the centre line, so I just need to come around 5 degrees or so and let that needle come back to 249, and we're now 12.8 DME. We're looking for 8.7, and let's just look at the chart very quickly. Our ground speed is going to be 140 or so, 160, so our descent will be between 750 and 850. So 249, no, it's not coming in. I need to be chasing that needle. .259, and we're at 11, looking for 8.7. So we can get gear down, flaps down.
MALEV 995 Heavy, contact Torgumures Tower 119.8.
And our approach speed 131.
Contact Tower
We're going to add 5 to that,
119.18, MALEV
136.
995 Heavy. Bye-bye.
Okay, so 249. Is
Tower
it
News Tower,
slowly,
MALEV
slowly
995
coming
Heavy,
in?
NDB DMA runway 25.
MALEV 995 Heavy, Torgumures Tower, wind 205 runway 25 clear to land.
Clear to land, so that means we can get our landing lights on.
Runway 25 cleared to land, MALEV 995 Heavy.
Turn off lights. All those. And full flap can come down. So 8.7 we've got, so let's go down at 750. Oh, we'll go, what was it? 800, there we go, 800 feet per minute, full flap, auto brakers on, landing lights are on, and we're just about on 249 by the skin of our teeth. So, and our decision, our missed approach is 1700. And we're just keeping the speed up at the moment because it's more stable. At least we don't seem to have any weather at the moment. But let's go back to the nav. Yeah. So I'm not going to use this to adjust our heading because that's telling me we're on 249 exactly at the moment. So I just need to bring that heading knob back to 249. There we go. 249. Using the NDB, not this, that, and the DME. So we've got about 1,000 to go to our missed approach. Can we see anything yet? Nope. It's all a bit sucked in, isn't it? I think we're in the right part of the world. Telling me we've got about 4 miles to run. I really can't see anything. Oh, there we go. Runway in sight. Oh, I like that when it happens. Whew. So 249 we've got. We're tracking nicely into that NDB. And the only thing we haven't done is arm the spoiler when we put the gear down. So spoilers are armed, auto brake is set, cabin is secure, lights are on, and we've got clearance to land. Okay, so autopilot can come off. Autopilot is off. Oh, but of course you need to click this twice. Yeah, and of course in doing that, and let's get the auto throttle off. $500. Bit of an arrival. I'll take it though. Right, so reversers are deployed. We are decelerating. Auto brake can come off, and reversers can get stowed. So there we go. Welcome to Transilvania. Just as the heavens open, look at that.
Mallet 99 flight heavy, exit left at Bravo.
Exit left at Bravo, Mallet 995 heavy.
Right, so we shouldn't really clean up until we've got the other side of the hold. But, ooh, is that lightning? Yikes. Okay, so we shouldn't really clean up until we've got the other side of the hold. That is lightning. How do we get the wipers on this? Wipers. But we will, because we've got to taxi all the way along the runway. Trap the speed brake, and we'll get the autopilot, the APU on. I'm not going to taxi too fast because I want to get told off for taking off. APU start. So other non-essentials. Whoa, stop it. Non-essentials can be... do those now. Brakes hot. Let's get the brake fan on. So Transilvania Airport. Where do we taxi? I guess we go where the tug isn't. I don't want to go from the terminal, so we'll go. Okay, so landing lights come off. Strobe can come off. And we'll just I'm not quite sure where that tug's going. It seems just to be stationary. Honestly. So let's just go a bit further forward. To be honest, that will do nicely. Okay, I'm not going to worry about any more than that. There we go. So let's get the park brake on, get the lights off, give the engines time to cool down. Okay, APU is on. APU bleed can come on. Engines off, off. And seatbelt signs off. Okay, and let's see if we can get some stairs. I don't think so, because there weren't any. No. Oh! Et voilà. Ils sont là. Yeah, I don't think they're big enough. We're not used to such big aeroplanes here in Transylvania. So, anyway, there we go. Welcome to Transylvania. Hope you enjoyed that. I did. I like an approach like that. It was unplanned. It wasn't like that the weather when we departed. So exciting. I like it. Alright. Take care. See you all in the next one. Bye now.